bigotry and racism are real. And when the left tells America everyone in America is racist, that does real damage to the important fight to combat bigotry that we have seen from the dawn of this country and indeed from the dawn of time. When you see every American as harboring implicit racial bias, one can advocate for that as an academic, one can advocate for that as a partisan advocate, but you're nominated to be the number 3 official at the U.S. Department of Justice. And one area that gives me real concern, Ms. Gupta, is in the area of free speech and the censorship we see from big tech. You were one of a handful of individuals invited to have dinner with Mark Zuckerberg to discuss the growing problem we've seen of big tech censorship, silencing voices that Silicon Valley billionaires disagree with. And the dismaying thing is what's been publicly reported about that meeting is not that you urged Mr. Zuckerberg and others in tech to protect free speech, to have a free and fair marketplace of ideas, but precisely the opposite. From what's been publicly reported, the quote that's been reported from this, in fact, you tweeted this, was Mark Zuckerberg doesn't know what the First Amendment is for. He thinks it's a floating right that carries no responsibilities. That seems to suggest that you want big tech to censor more speech rather than less speech. Would that be a good direction in this country?
Senator, I have fiercely defended freedom of speech. I've worked for an organization that has often been criticized for being so fierce in its defense of all free speech. I also believe that any type of viewpoint discrimination is an anathema to this country. It is unconstitutional, plainly. My engagement with Facebook was
Ms.
one...
Gupta, if I could ask you, have you defended speech of someone you disagreed with? Have you ever defended the speech of pro-life advocates? Have you ever defended the speech of pro-Second Amendment advocates? Or is it just the people that politically agree with you whose free speech rights should be protected?
Senator, as you know, the American Civil Liberties Union...
I'm asking about you personally, not more broadly others.
I haven't been a free speech lawyer myself. I have advocated
you headed the Civil Rights Division.
Free speech at the ACLU and at the Civil Rights Division, yes.
So can you point to any instance of your defending the free speech rights of someone you disagreed with?
I'm sure that I did. The Civil Rights Division doesn't have a federal statute on this. I would welcome, actually, Senator, so that I don't misspeak, an opportunity to respond in writing.
I would welcome a response in writing. Let me just ask a simple question. Should big tech be censoring more or censoring less?
I think we want to ensure that we have free speech and a free internet while understanding the responsibility that social media has in propagating and radicalizing terrorists online.
Okay, let me try again. Is big tech engaged in too much censorship or too little censorship?
I'm not sure. I know which side of the ledger you're talking about. They have community standards that they are not enforcing at many of these companies that are creating a lot of problems around issues in our democracy. For a long time, Facebook was allowing unlawful ad targeting in housing ads and using Section 230
I guess I'm
as a
concerned
shield.
if you're saying that you want them enforcing community standards when you began this exchange with Senator Booker by saying everyone in America has implicit racial bias, and you now want big tech, Silicon Valley billionaires with monopolies to enforce standards that just happen to coincide with the political views you have. Here's another area. You've called the Keystone Pipeline dirty and dangerous.
Senator,
do you agree that pipelines continue to be the safest mode of transport to transport our oil and gas natural resources?
Senator, I don't recall that specific language, but obviously, if I am confirmed, I will oversee the Environmental and Natural Resources Division,
right,
and don't want to make prejudgments about factual issues related to that. Again, I will be enforcing the federal law per the facts and the law of any particular pipeline or anything else.
Senator Klobuchar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I think we're coming to a close of this hearing. I saw your kids were doing pretty well there. They're taking a break, Ms. Gupta, but they've been great and quite well behaved, I report. First, something that I don't think we've talked about much, the Violence Against Women Act, and I am very much looking forward to working with